Hey guys, this is Jay Lethal, the Blend Machismo, and whoa, the Nature Boy, and you're listening to the Potsy and Tino Show.
Nope, we're gonna stop there real quick, and
Well, what
yeah,
happened?
we're actually broadcasting live already, but I'm gonna go ahead and start it over on the record. Here we go.
Hey guys, this is Jay Lethal.
No, it's still not getting it now. What the hell?
The Nature Boy.
You know what? Screw it. We're just gonna go ahead and start it on up because we'll just do this on YouTube tonight, Tino.
All right, sounds like a plan to me.
Yeah. Wow. It's like a couple of amateurs trying to do this, I guess. Um,
It's not like we've been doing this for a couple of years now.
yeah. Well, it doesn't feel like it at this point.
No.
So
Are the holidays about over for you? We can get back to a regular recordings schedule.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Earlier tonight. So, anyways, folks, you're listening to the Potsy and Tino show,
Oh yeah. By the way,
brought to you by the Pots and Pans Network, where our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam's House Cats, called the Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And Tino, I got a speeding ticket on the way home from work tonight, so that we could try to do this show about 2 hours ago.
I know. So Rob called me earlier today. I said we're going to record. He said, "Yeah, I'll be home about." I get off at 10. I'll be home at 10:30. Then I get a text from Rob saying, "I'm still here."
Yeah. And then on top of all of that, I ended up getting pulled in a speeding ticket, and for everyone looking, there it is right there. Yeah, not happy about that. It's I was telling Tino that I specifically set my my cruise control for like 4 miles an hour over the speed limit, and yet for whatever reason tonight, knowing that I had to be home to do this show,
Didn't do it.
no, I apparently not. Apparently, I don't know.
You like the hell with it.
Yeah, something like that.
Throw caution into the wind.
And now I know I'm going to be contacting a lawyer to try to figure this whole thing out, because the cop was nice enough to give me a citation, and
not a warning ticket.
yes, not a warning. My clean driving record since I got my license back in question now. So, but Tino, there's we obviously haven't done a show in a while. Lot been going on. The Tino Gray band has been all over the state.
Yes, been rocking and rolling. About to release that first CD. No, it was cool. We played. What was it, last weekend? And you came out and surprised me. That was awesome. And then my baby's mama showed up, and then you guys were sitting at the table, and I don't know what you get.
You mean my baby's mama?
Yeah, whatever. And then you guys were talking about God knows what. I'm like,
for a long time.
For a long time.
Nicole and I don't get a lot of time to hang out anymore, so when she shows up, we talk about that one magical night. About what, 11 years ago? That
No.
9 years ago.
9 years ago. Where did you get 11?
Dude, all the years just seem to like flow together now. Like,
that's what happens when you get old.
It really does. It really does. So Nicole and I got to hang out and chit chat for a little while about life and things going on, and the Oxford comma, which apparently we're going to do an episode all about the Oxford comma one of these days.
She's looking forward to it.
So I gotta tell everybody, Nicole has been doing these awesome, like, once in a blue moon, like, Instagram videos and Facebook videos of like just weird shit that's going on. And folks, it's getting ready to be a new year. I don't know about Tino, but I'm thinking we may go M-rated tonight.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so Tino likes dropping the F.
Yes, so I don't get to do it very often.
We're gonna warn everybody now that we may drop a couple bombs tonight, but We may also drop a couple bombshells. Who knows? So Nicole's sitting there and has this video that's just awesome on Facebook where it's her and Matthew, baby Seamus, as we like to call him, and she's talking about how Matthew he he basically tells her that he didn't have time to get breakfast. So,
My son's a genius.
so
He's pure genius.
So of course, she sits there and goes, "Well, go get some cereal, and get in the car because it's time to go to school." So Matthew decides out of nowhere, instead of putting it in a bowl or in some sort of Tupperware container that can easily contain milk and cereal, he does what, Tino?
He gets a Ziploc storage bag and puts the cereal in Fruit Loops, Daddy's favorite, Fruit Loops in the bag, and puts milk in it. And he forgot his glass. And Nicole had no idea until he had forgotten his glasses. He said, "Hey, Mom, can you hold my cereal?" And she's like, "What? Why?" And he hands it to her, and yeah, she's holding a bag with Fruit Loops and milk in it.
Yes, a bag with Fruit Loops and milk.
Full. It was full.
When she goes, "What the hell is this?" What does he say?
He said, "That's smart." And he taps his head.
And he does this number right here. And of course, Tino sits there and posts the video too, and he goes, "That's my son."
That's my son, that dude.
And I'm sitting there the whole time thinking, "That's my son."
Shut up. Oh God, that kid makes us laugh, man. He makes us laugh like no. God, he's so funny.
So Tino, what else has been going on with you? Obviously, we just passed Christmas. Did anybody get anything cool?
Matthew got spoiled. He got a keyboard from my father-in-law. So he's got a keyboard stand and a little keyboard stool. I got Haley. She needed a new phone, so I got her iPhone 8. And then just normal Christmas stuff, I guess. We're ready. Tomorrow, what's that? Tomorrow would be today? The 29th. We're gonna be driving up to Charlotte to go hang out with Nicole's family, her mom, and we're gonna go up Saturday, hang out with her mom, spend a night, and then Sunday go hang out with her aunt and cousins, and then drive back. But the biggest thing I think that I'm going to do is I'm following your footsteps. So December the 1st, January 1st. I'm going to have to do it starting the new year. I'm going to cut out potatoes and bread and see how long I could go. Because I'm a bread and potatoes guy. To see how long I can go and drink more water. Start off slow, not get too crazy. Try to cut out potatoes, bread, and pastas, and sodas, and try to drink more water. Pretty much cut out fast foods too.
Well, and I'll tell you, the cutting out fast foods and everything is really important to that entire situation. But at the same time, I mean, if you just cut out bread, pasta, and potatoes, like rice as well, if you cut out those four things, like there's substitutes for most of them. The other thing that I've tried to do, and I've really tried to do it well, is cut out fried foods.
Yeah.
And I mean I've lost 27 pounds in 2 months. Now, granted, I'm at the point now where it pulled off, but at the same time, like you can see it on me that
Yes.
I have lost weight. And interestingly enough, on my Instagram, a guy that I met at San Diego Comic-Con last year, he basically looks like Jason Momoa
Oh
almost.
God.
Long hair, he's got the beard, he's like a personal trainer. Sat there and he was like, "Keep it up, bro," because I can tell the waist is starting to slim. And it's funny because I started saying that it doesn't look like I'm losing as much here, but it's because I let my beard grow in.
Yeah.
I don't know if I were to shave this down, if all of a sudden I would actually look like I'm thinner in the face. But I've always had a fat face, so um, it don't you go say I saw that. I saw that look. The people didn't see it because you weren't saying anything, but I saw it. I know what you're doing. No, seriously though. It's interesting though because like I said, I feel better. I feel more in tune with like my sleep schedule and stuff like that. Although just recently I've had a lot going on like because of work and the holidays. I've never been a holidays person because of everything that and we could discuss it. I don't care. My grandmother died on my birthday, which is the 22nd of December. My divorce all started at like Thanksgiving one year. So I mean, like and then I work retail. So obviously you tie all that stuff together, and it's like
Yeah.
like Rob's never gonna like the holidays. And and it's fine. I had a great birthday. My family took me to Ruth's Chris. I had an amazing meal. Was except for my niece Rachel, who apparently she had plans. She wanted to go out with her friends or whatever. But everybody else was there. It was great, and my boss was kind enough to actually let me have the night off that night, even though I was supposed to work that night because that was what our recommended schedule was or whatever. But like we had dinner at Christmas Day as well, which was awesome. Like we were actually closed, even though we weren't closed on Thanksgiving. We were closed for that, so that was fun too. But like my mom, Tino, she was like, Robert, you're very quiet, and
Robert.
and that
Wow.
she's like the only person that calls me Robert at this point in my life. And I'm like, well, I don't have anything to say. Everyone else is talking, and she's like, but that's not you. You're normally talking all the time. I'm like, do you want me to just randomly say shit? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you guys are all talking. I'm just sitting here like this. I'm just listening in, and of course, my sister Michelle, who I live with, sits there and goes, he's always been kind of a Grinch at the holidays.
Oh, shorty.
But but I mean, like, she's right. I mean, for the last 13 years, I've worked in retail management that absolutely does everything at the holidays. So I'm not going to have that festive feel to me that other people do.
Hmm.
And and I know other people feel the same way that I do. Like my buddy Scott, who normally doesn't listen to this show unless I tell him it's not about wrestling. Uh
Wow.
because he just doesn't get the wrestling part of it. But like everybody else, like anybody that's in the same situation as me, or even you work most of the holidays.
Yeah.
Like people just don't realize like the amount of stress, the amount of push, the pull, all that stuff that goes on the entire time that we're going through the holiday period. And like it really does stress you out. Like today I was sitting there like trying to end my shift, and I'm like, man, I need a vacation you know? And I don't
Yeah.
even care if I go anywhere. I'll just sit at home and play a video game for 5 days. I don't care. But like, I just need to get away. Like,
Yeah.
I need to be away from all of that stress that I just dealt with and it's funny because I didn't run the mall this year, which means it's not nearly as bad as it's been in years
Hmm.
past for me. But at the same time, I'm done. I'm spent. I'm like, just give me a couple days off. So
Yeah. So what else you got going on? What other cool gifts did you get for your birthday?
I didn't get any gifts for my
Well,
birthday.
no, you February 1st. You did get a gift.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yes, I
You're gonna
did.
hurt his feelings. You're gonna make him.
No, no, no. I absolutely I got the greatest gift of all time. Of all time.
What you got?
So our buddy, friend of the show, Jason Ingram, who is going to be on the show,
I think
didn't
we're gonna.
just didn't just get me a present, Tino.
Oh no, he got me a Christmas present too. I'm speechless. I
So
can't put it into words.
so for only the third time ever, New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to be in the United States, and Jason Ingram was online at 10 a.m. on the 22nd, which was my birthday, and got us second row seats to New Japan in Charlotte. Wow.
Unfucking believable.
Unfucking real. And I mean, Jason's obviously the nicest guy in the entire damn world. Like there's nobody nicer until you get him against the Briscoe brothers. Like last year at the Ring of Honor show where he almost had to slap a Briscoe brother. Uh
I heard about that.
Dude, if you go back and I don't remember what the show was called, but if you go back and watch the Concord, North Carolina show, I have to hold Jason back from wanting to get into a fight with the Briscoe brothers. And I wouldn't fight the Briscoe brothers. Those guys have like 8 teeth between them.
I did go back and watch that, and I saw you.
Absolutely. I'm sitting there, I'm like, no. And then I'm like, but but yeah, so Jason knew about the New Japan show, posted it on a wrestling group that we're all on Facebook, and like sat there and just was like, we're getting tickets.
Unreal. Unreal.
Now Tino, this is after we already got tickets to NXT in the next 2 weeks.
I'm so excited about that too.
I mean, we have second row, and here's what upset me about that. I should have just let Jason get the tickets for us because Jason has front row seats.
How did he? What does he do? What does he just?
He said that as soon as 10 o'clock hit, he hit the button and it just opened up like 2 front row seats for him. And I'm sitting there going, it only opened up like second row seats for us. Now, granted, I jumped on it. We got second row seats for NXT as well. And my friend who is actually a friend of the who is actually a friend of Tommaso Ciampa, you know, superstar of the year.
Listen to you throwing out names.
I'm going to tell you, I asked Tom whether or not he was able to get us backstage, and he said he's not even allowed backstage. Now 6 days after he said to me in a private message that he can't get us backstage, you know what happened?
What's that?
He was backstage with Tommaso Ciampa.
No way.
At an NXT show, and I even called him out for it. And he goes, dude, it was last minute. I had no idea. I didn't expect it. And Tommaso actually asked me to come backstage so he could post it, because Ciampa actually posted on Twitter that Tom is actually the designer of all of his gear, so that's why he took a picture with him and everything. And Tom, I've known him for like 20 years and finally met him at San Diego Comic-Con this year. It was the first time that him and I were in the same place at the same time. And it's just so funny because I was like, man, Tom, it'd be really cool if you could get us backstage with Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, he's the best thing going in pro wrestling. And I'm not lying there.
Oh no, you're not.
Best thing going in pro wrestling.
Yes.
And you know, like Sami Callihan had a really good year last year, but it wasn't as good as Tommaso Ciampa's.
No.
So, anyways, so long story short, Tom's not able to get us backstage, but he did have a pretty fun time sitting there telling me that it was like accidental that he got backstage to talk to him.
It was an accident.
Never happens.
Yeah. Whatever.
But yeah, so January 6th, we are at the Durham Armory, second row, watching NXT, and then February 1st, we're watching the third ever New Japan show. And I don't even know how Charlotte got announced as like the place that it's going to happen.
Are you sure Cody's not going to be there?
Dude, Cody is not signed. I think his contract runs out. And let's go ahead and say it now. All Elite Pro Wrestling becomes a real thing.
So you think so?
Mm-hmm.
And that the owner of the Jaguars, right? Jacksonville Jaguars, is that?
Yeah, the Shaws. Yeah, they're apparently in charge of the whole thing. Now, the interesting thing about it though is that the Elite actually said they were all staying together, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet at Final Battle, which is the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, I guess this is our 5 minutes of honor. Um, the Ring of Honor pay per view, Marty Skrull actually started the Villain Club.
He started. No, he started
The
the
Villains
Villain
Incorporated.
Enterprises. Villains Enterprises.
Enterprises. I thought it was
Yeah.
incorporated,
Mm.
but yeah. So it looks like he's sticking around Ring of Honor for a little while. Now, granted, his contract may have run out after everyone else's did, but I don't know if he was ever actually quoted as the elite, but he was always part of Bullet Club from like this new iteration. So it's going to be really interesting because I believe that Kenny Omega's contract runs out at the end of January, which is when all of the New Japan contracts typically run out. Cody, Young Bucks, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, all those guys are apparently through the end of this year, so that way they're free to do whatever. Now, eh, let's go ahead and just jump right in. They've all turned down seven-figure deals with the WWE.
What?
Every single one of them. Well, maybe not SoCal Uncensored, but all of the elite members have turned down seven-figure deals with WWE.
Because they know they're going to get there and they're not going to do anything with them.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, obviously, like over the past couple weeks, WWE has said that they're going to start listening to their fan base, right? So,
How
so
how do you think that's true?
no, they're still going to force Brock Lesnar down our throats. They're still going to force Ronda Rousey down our throats. They're not going to give Becky Lynch the win over Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. I mean, maybe, but overall, like, no, I don't expect them to change the way that they've done things for the last 50 something years. Now, if they really wanted to do that, Tino, what they would start doing is private polling their audience members through email and actually using those poll results to determine who the winners of the matches were.
I can see that.
Like that is the way to actually make your fans feel like they are the ones making the decisions. Is actually let them make the decisions.
But they're not going to do that.
Oh, they can't. Could you imagine that? Zack Ryder would probably be US champion again.
Woo, woo, woo. You
You
know it.
know it. And actually, I'll tell you right now, Zack Ryder actually is a pretty good worker. So I would be okay with him being United States champion right now instead of who is the United States champion?
Rusev.
Oh, that's right.
Rusev
Why is Rusev
Day.
now the champion? Because WWE wanted to give us what we've been asking for 6 goddamn months.
It's a little too late now.
It, you
I'm,
know what? He has definitely passed where that popularity was, but that crowd absolutely blew the place away with the Rusev Day chants and the congratulatory stuff going on for Rusev winning. It blew me away because we are still behind him, even though they did everything they could to bury it.
and I'm waiting to see if they go ahead and put the strap on Strowman at the Royal Rumble. If they're trying to give the people what they want. The people wanted Braun to have that belt months ago.
Well, we did. Now, granted, and in fact, we God, we haven't done a show in forever, Tino. In fact, next time we do a show, at this rate, we're probably going to have to pay for another year of SoundCloud to make sure that we can continue on with this thing. Uh,
Yeah.
the the Braun Strowman thing is interesting because it makes me think that the reason why they didn't give him the belt at the Super Show or whatever it was, Super Showdown or was it the greatest? It wasn't the greatest Royal Rumble. It was the one in India.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry, it was the Saudi Arabian show, and I have to think that the reason why they didn't give him the belt there was because he was injured.
Hmm.
He was able to take bumps, but he wasn't able to do anything with his arm. So they let him take the couple bumps. He kept kicking out to actually prove that he was still strong. And then after that, like Brock got the win. Now, granted, that set up the matches against Baron Corbin and everything else, which obviously the WWE thought he'd be back. He wasn't ready for it, so and brought out all of his friends to sit there and give him the win so that he gets the match at Royal Rumble where he's supposed to be healed up. And if you watched Monday Night Raw this week, you got to hear Paul Heyman sing.
Yeah, that was interesting. I don't think I ever want to hear that again.
It wasn't terrible though. I've heard worse, but it made me think that they really were hoping that Braun was going to be back for the match against Baron Corbin, and when he wasn't, now they're really relying on Paul Heyman actually selling this match because they don't even have Braun wrestling right now. So they literally have two guys not wrestling trying to sell the world title match. I guess Universal Championship match, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like I said, I'm hoping that they give him. I hope they go with him with the strap. What I don't get,
Well, who does he go against at WrestleMania if that's the case?
a returning Roman Reigns.
You think Roman's going to come back less than a year later after leukemia?
Yeah, they said probably 2 to 3 years. The only thing I can think of is they took the belt off of they took the Intercontinental belt off of your boy Rollins. So maybe at WrestleMania he'll be in the mix somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think that what their plan actually is to do if I had to guess, I'm going to think that their plan right now is to do pardon me. Um Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania.
You
And
think?
that's if they go against Brock Lesnar.
So you think it'll be a 3-way?
No, I think that the idea is get Brock Lesnar out of the picture. You know, he was short term. Let's figure it out. Obviously, it was probably because they needed a decision, knowing that Braun was hurt and that Roman left, so they needed something quick. So from there, Vince went, let's get Brock. You know, Brock's gonna have his UFC match shortly after that. We can go ahead and do Brock versus Braun at Royal Rumble, and then we've got to build up somebody else. Now, granted, the interesting thing is that you know who's on a winning streak right now that's been going up against most of those same guys?
R-Truth.
No, no, same guys.
Oh,
Other show.
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. So what if they actually started setting up David versus Goliath with Braun Strowman and Finn Balor?
Finn Balor never got his rematch.
Well, no, he did. He got it against Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns finally won the belt.
Mm.
That very first night, he got the rematch. The interesting thing though is that Finn is suddenly getting pushed again. Like he's finally getting the same push that he got in NXT and even when he first showed up on Raw. He's finally getting that. He's going up against the top guys week in, week out. And the interesting thing is for the first time, he's not losing.
I think that's got Triple H's fingerprints on it, though.
Oh, it totally does. And it totally does because when we sit there as a fan base and say that we need more going on with the WWE and we need to be listened to, everybody already goes, well, Triple H has his finger on the pulse. Triple H knows what's going on. Triple H actually has the right thing going with NXT. So why don't we start listening to Triple H? So Triple H is sitting there saying, fans want Balor. Give them Balor. Fans want Dolph Ziggler actually in decent matches. Fans want Seth Rollins actually opened up so that he can go after the world championship. Okay, give them all of that. You know, but in actuality, we're sitting there going, seen it all before, right?
Hmm.
We're not really seeing what we really want at this point. We don't. We're 6 months past the height of Rusev Day when Rusev should have taken on AJ Styles and beaten him. We're 6 months past. We're 18 months past Finn Balor getting his comeuppance and being back in the world title picture. We're 3 years outside of Brock Lesnar being the biggest draw in the business.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm gonna ask you something, Tino. Did you see the end of SmackDown?
I was waiting for you to get to SmackDown because I was waiting for you to get to that. Is he going heel, or is he going to be a tweener? Because if he goes, he's the face that runs the place right now. He is their most over uh, male superstar. So if they turn him heel, who do they put against him?
Well, so folks, for those that haven't necessarily seen SmackDown, Tino's being coy. AJ Styles had an interaction and an altercation with Mr. McMahon that led to Mr. McMahon slapping AJ Styles in the face, and AJ Styles ended up punching and knocking down Mr. McMahon. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and say Mr. McMahon took the punch like a man.
70-something years old.
I think he's 74. I want to say
Yeah.
77. I think he's 74. But then when everybody started checking on him, unlike years past where Mr. McMahon would have been up on his feet in no time, he was just like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm good.
And he was smiling.
But then he started to smile because that obviously is what the reaction that they were hoping to get. And they're thinking that this whole idea is that AJ Styles is going to morph into the more aggressive AJ Styles that we all want to see. Now, granted, I don't think we need a more aggressive AJ Styles. I kind of like the white meat baby face AJ Styles that we've been getting since the Samoa Joe time. But at the same time, Tino, I asked our Facebook group, and I'll ask you right now. Did you find it really interesting that there was a poster that said "The World of Rock" with The Rock like center stage during that whole altercation?
Yeah. I picked up on that too when I was watching it. So it could be foreshadowing. WWE has done it before.
I mean, so far most of it, and our buddy Dan out there sat there and said that it's just their way of trying to promote like a DVD or a Blu-ray that might be coming up that will be called The World of Rock, which is fine. Obviously, he's going to do some promotion for the WWE with the Fighting with My Family movie coming up. That's all about Paige and her situation and how she became a pro wrestler. And obviously, they keep showing that one scene that's got The Rock in it, right? But but I have to think like it's WrestleMania 35. Every five, they seem to go big, right? They
Mm.
seem to go big. So I think The Rock is going to show up at WrestleMania 35. In fact, I think that he may be the one that eliminates AJ Styles from the Royal Rumble at this rate. And if that's the case, and then he gets eliminated from the Royal Rumble, that we could actually see the phenomenal one,
Yes, the great one.
the great one, in a once in a lifetime, never expected, because no one ever expected AJ to make it to WWE. Nobody ever expected The Rock to come back. But let's be real. If The Rock's going to come back, he's going to come back for a monster match, right?
Yeah.
But is he going to come back in a monster match where he can get destroyed by Brock Lesnar and never work a movie again? Or is he going to do a match where it's actually against a guy who is going to protect him enough to where it's a great match? Obviously, the idea originally, from what everyone's saying, is that it was supposed to be The Rock versus Roman Reigns this year. Roman goes evil, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
The Rock comes back, wins the Royal Rumble, and they put on the match so that The Rock can put him over. Well, that's obviously not happening. But if The Rock has already cleared his dates, and Vince McMahon sits there and says, Rock, I got an idea. And he goes, I'll give you $8 million.
Oh my God.
What's The Rock gonna say? Is he gonna say no?
$8 million.
Like there's so much money WrestleMania season, man. That, like, they always joke that Floyd Mayweather got $20 million, and no one knows whether or not that's true or not, but he might have. And if that's the case, if he were to get The Rock at $8 million to wrestle AJ Styles in one of the main events, it's gold.
Wow.
They've already announced John Cena coming back,
Next week.
which, by the way, he doesn't look like John Cena anymore.
Skinny, he's got hair.
He's skinny and has hair. Now, granted, I saw him in Bumblebee. I've watched it twice, and he's great. Like he nails that role as the captain or general or whatever he's supposed to be in the military service, and you just go, yup, I can see why he went to making movies. But I still think that one of those two guys needs to take the role of the Terminator from Arnold.
One of who? Either Rock or who?
Or John Cena.
Oh, the Rock or John Cena. Yeah.
Yeah, either one of them. Because both of them can sit there and just stare at you like this and not have anything going on. And you'd buy that they're a robot.
So I see Cena more than I see the Rock.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny, they always talk about how much charisma John Cena has, and yet I think it's forced charisma. I think that he really does come across as the guy that could just sit there like and be a robot. And I'd be okay with that.
He was the prototype.
He was the prototype. Not quite the Leviathan that Batista was.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'd love to see Batista come back for WrestleMania.
Blue Tista. Now, weren't they teasing him and Triple H?
They were. Now, apparently, Triple H ended up having to have surgery because the match against Undertaker and Kane, he blew out like his entire like pectoral muscle and everything else. But did you notice that he's just able to walk around and has full mobility again?
So you think he faked it? You think he pulled a Shawn Michaels?
I don't think he faked it. I think obviously like he's rehabbing and doing all that, but like he's able to get around wearing a suit and tie without any issues, and it's like that's kind of interesting. So soon after the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. So lots been going on. What's up with Dean Ambrose's weird jacket that he's wearing now? It looks like he got it from like a homeless shelter.
The leather jacket with the fur collar, along with the gas mask. What the hell?
Well, the gas mask is fine. I'm okay with that because that actually seems to fit his personality. But the fluffy collar on the leather jacket just it screams like 70s porn star. Like oh. Like Ron Jeremy called. He wants that damn thing back.
And it's killing me that every once in a while, Graves will take a dig at Renee about it's tongue in cheek. We all know that she's married to. We all know she's married. But he's like, yeah, you can't tell us what his plans are, or what was that celebration like in the Ambrose home? I mean, come on.
Every time they bring that up, it's terrible because like they obviously didn't rehearse it. And she's like, I don't know what's going on in the household. And it's like, you don't? Like just leave it alone. Put it back in kayfabe. Leave it alone.
Either leave it alone or make it known.
Well, everybody knows it.
What do you know what I mean?
But if they're gonna have her talk about it, they should have him talk about it. Because he should be like, everybody should leave my wife alone. There, done. Like I'm the one you need to talk to here. That's me. And it's all because I hate Seth Rollins. Okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. Like he's not invited to the family parties anymore and Renee hates it. Okay, cool. I'm done. I don't need to hear what her opinion is. She's a commentator. That's it, right?
Yeah. I only get that. But the only other thing I want to talk about are the interesting choice.
The Roman Reigns, like, what are you doing here?
My arm was itching. The interesting choice of NXT people they chose to call up. I agree with. I agree with Nikki Cross, but she's already been called up, so I don't know why they already.
Well, no. Okay, hold on. Yes, she was called up for one episode when they were in her home country. So don't think that that's a call up, because if you remember, John Cena in Montreal sat there and said, "Who wants to come after the United States Championship?" And then, of course,
Sami Zayn.
And then Sami Zayn got hurt that night and whatever, and he wasn't but he wasn't gonna be on TV. It was just a one-off.
All right. So Nikki Cross, Heavy Machinery. I mean, you can't call up. Well, I guess your boys.
War Machine.
Either War Machine. No.
Raiders, I'm sorry, War Raiders.
The tag team champions.
Undisputed Era.
Yeah, I would think you called them up first, but I guess they're not ready to come up. But Heavy Machinery?
You know what? No, it's got nothing to do with them being ready. It's got nothing to do with that. Tommaso Ciampa is ready. Johnny Gargano is ready.
They need them.
Black is ready.
They need them there.
They can't take everything. Like, they did that already. They took everything away from NXT when Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, all those guys left. They took everything except for Cassius Ohno.
Oh no.
And there's a reason why they left him there.
All right, so you got, let's go through the list. We got Lars Sullivan, I agree with.
Which show is he gonna end up on? I think he's gonna end up on Raw.
Probably SmackDown, but they need him on Raw.
I think he's gonna end up on Raw. Because if you notice, Daniel Bryan is 218 pounds, and suddenly he's going up against Mustafa Ali.
Okay.
So I think Lars Sullivan shows up on Raw.
All right, Nikki Cross, we know she's going to SmackDown to be with Sanity.
You would hope. It makes the most sense. However, they could trade Sanity over to Raw.
Heavy Machinery will probably go to SmackDown.
I think they'll be on Raw, actually.
No, because EC3 is going to Raw.
See, it's funny because EC3 probably makes more sense on SmackDown.
I want to know why they're not bringing up my boy Velveteen Dream.
Because he hasn't won the title yet. So
they're just going to keep him there till he wins the title.
No, I just okay. So I'm. You want me to do what I'm so well known for doing on this show and go on a little bit of a rant?
Here we go. We hadn't had one in a while.
Well, we haven't had a show in a while, so
that's true.
Rant in a while, Jesus. So Velveteen Dream. In fact, I was thinking about it, and Tino, we're gonna have the PAT Awards, the PAT Awards,
yes,
the Potsy and Tino Show Awards next episode, and Velveteen Dream was actually on my list of
breakout star of the year.
Breakout star, like I didn't want to put him up for superstar or male performer of the year, but I did want to give him breakout star of the year in terms of at least nomination, right?
Yes.
Nomination for it, because he has come out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a guy that Hulk Hogan during Tough Enough sat there and said didn't have what it takes, or during whatever the Impact one of that was, didn't have what it takes and needed to go back to the drawing board and really figure out his character development. And what did he do? He became, well, Black Dalton Castle.
A little bit of Prince mixed with the Macho Man.
Yeah, sure. But Black Dalton Castle, right?
Goldust.
Sure, absolutely. A little flamboyant, right? So does that translate to the main roster?
It worked for Goldust.
Did it work for Tyler Breeze?
Tyler Breeze wasn't as flamboyant as the Dream.
He wasn't?
Tyler Breeze did not have See, I think the Dream has more charisma than Breeze,
Oh, absolutely.
and I think that's what's going to carry him over with the fans on the main roster.
But
He's got it all. He's got the
so
it factor. He's got the charisma. He's got the in ring ability. He's excellent on the mic. He's got the three.
so what has he accomplished so far?
He hadn't won the title yet.
He hasn't won any title yet.
Yep. Yet
So,
though, I mean, but he just came out of nowhere. He started 2018 is when he started his side rock. I think this year, by the end of this year, he'll be NXT champion. He'll either have the NXT champion or the North American champion, or he would have won them both by the end of this year. That's my prediction.
well, that's just it. Like I said, I truly think that that
I think by SummerSlam he'll be called up.
I mean,
Or after.
I actually think that there's a good possibility he gets called up the night after WrestleMania, because I think a lot of guys will. I think that the one thing that NXT has done extremely well is that they reinvent themselves the night after WrestleMania. They really do believe that the WrestleMania weekend is the weekend where you actually finish your stories and you go from there, right? And because of that, I think we're going to see Tommaso Ciampa called up the night after WrestleMania. We're probably going to see Johnny Gargano called up the night after that, because that'll still be a SmackDown night at that point.
So you think Gargano's going to SmackDown and Ciampa's going to Raw?
I think they will separate the two of them unless they decide that they want to put them back together as a tag team when they call them up. And I
Wait, what-
don't and I don't think they're going to call them up as a tag team, because at this rate I don't think that they have any intentions of calling them up as a tag team. Um, it boggles my mind. In fact, Tommaso Ciampa posted on Twitter. Obviously he's got the match against Aleister Black at the Royal Rumble NXT show, and he basically said, "I was never the chosen one. I didn't debut at Takeover. In fact, I didn't have a contract." And these are actual quotes from him. And I'm going to tell you, Tino, I watched I watched Tommaso Ciampa in Ring of Honor.
Me
And I
too.
sat there and said, I don't see anything in that guy.
The Sicilian Nightmare?
I didn't see anything in him.
Hmm.
I didn't see anything in him when Truth Martini wanted him. I didn't see anything when Prince Nana wanted him. I didn't see anything in him.
So
And
what,
yet
what changed your mind?
he grabbed the brass fucking ring. He literally grabbed that ring and said, "You give me a chance to show that I can develop a character and I will run with it." Because if you remember, his first chance with WWE, sure, it might have been NXT and it might have been as a tag team partner to Johnny Gargano, but it wasn't until the cruiserweight tournament that they did that both of those guys put everything on the line in the first round against each other, even though they were a tag team. And that's what made everybody sit there and go, these guys have talent. These guys have something. I don't know what it is, but they've got something, right?
Hmm.
And it wasn't until we saw them against the Revival, then against Authors of Pain,
Pain.
and then finally at the end of that Authors of Pain match, both of
Ciampa
them,
turn.
both of them injured, knowing they're going to be off TV for 3 months, and Tommaso Ciampa turns on him. And he doesn't just turn on him, Tino. He turned on him after the little blurb at the bottom of the screen showed up and said, this show is over.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, while he's sitting there holding Johnny Gargano and kisses him on the top of the head, throws him through an LED board, you know? And that's like, you didn't see any character development before that. You saw these two guys working their asses off to be the best tag team in the world. They won the tag team championships, and that was it. And then they had this match, and when Ciampa finally came back, he sat there and he said, Johnny wasn't ready for this. nobody was cheering us. I was ready to sit there and turn on anybody to get what I wanted. And immediately, like, I don't know who was in charge of this character development piece. I'm sure it was Shawn Michaels and Triple H, but they nailed it.
Yes.
Then and then of course, if you read on the internet, you read all this stuff about Johnny Gargano and how he was the last real white meat baby face there was. The last one. And what did they do?
Turned him.
When Aleister Black got hurt, what did they do? They turned Johnny Gargano and they made you sit there and go, no, no, you can't do that with Johnny wrestling. And you know the best part about it is he still uses that high
Cartoon thing.
school cartoon bullshit theme song that makes you just sit there and want to like cheer for him. And then you still and what I love about the NXT crowd is the NXT crowd knows wrestling. They are your Ring of Honor fans. They are your New Japan fans because like when you're watching that steel cage match between Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano, they're yelling Johnny wrestling, and then the other people are going Aleister Black, Aleister Black. You know, they're all cheering. You
Yeah.
know, and you're like you're not supposed to cheer for Johnny now, but they still do because they realize how good it is. You know, they realize that it's just good.
Yeah.
It's like when you used to watch back in 1994, you would watch Dean Malenko versus Eddie Guerrero in the ECW arena when everybody thought there'd be steel chairs and tables and fucking full goddamn kitchen sinks. And instead you got those two guys wrestling their asses off
And
and
wrestling.
putting together an entire match where they never left the ring. You know, they'd go to the top rope, they jump off the top rope, they Dean Malenko, the man of 1,000 holds, would sit there and try to submit him like multiple times, but they wouldn't go outside the ring at all because they knew that they were going to capture that audience. And when you look at and it's amazing because like I'll tell you right now, I was writing up like who is the best feud of the year, and I wanted to say Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. I wanted to say Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black because I think both of them are top. But in actuality, it's Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano
Versus
versus
Alice.
Aleister Black, right?
Yes.
And it's like it's a no-brainer as to who is going to win the award for that because they've done so much more than any of like I can't even remember a feud on Raw or SmackDown that is of that type of thing, except maybe the Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker and Kane. And the only reason why is because they put it on TV for 2.5 months before they finally had Shawn Michaels come back and make his comeback.
What about Charlotte and Becky?
Still not the same.
I can't think of anyone.
You know, and in fact, the only one that I think actually comes close is the theory, the outside the wrestling world side of Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey. It's the only one that's gotten that much acclaim behind it, you know? Like when you and I'm not even saying just WWE programming because if we actually looked at it, you know, we could totally sit there and say that one of the best feuds of the year actually happened before the year started, and that was Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega.
I'll
It
give you
got
that.
more people viewing Japanese wrestling than anything has in years. We could sit there and say that the Young Bucks and Cody just against the world. You know, like I thought breakout star of the year maybe Cody Rhodes this year because look at his match against Nick Aldis.
Yes.
And there's been 2 of those matches now. Look at what his entire year has been compared to just about everybody else. And there's only one guy that, to me, still to this moment, actually has outdone him, and that's Tommaso Ciampa, and he's on the C program.
Not NXT is the A program.
No, absolutely. I could not agree more. However, look at Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Look at Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, the 2 matches that they've actually had. Like WWE starting to take notice. Do I think that the programs are absolutely getting better? No. There's still a lot of struggle. There's still a lot of problems with them, but for the most part, they're finally starting to get it. And it's funny because it almost felt like for years they stopped caring about ratings. And then this year, yeah, sure, they had Seth Rollins talk about how Baron Corbin let Raw go to shit, but the fact of the matter is that Raw had gone to shit before Roman Reigns left, and it was up to them to finally start seeing numbers that were hurting their stock price, because as we talked about for 3 fucking months, as long as the stock price continued to go up, it didn't matter what they were doing.
Vince didn't give a shit.
But now he's worried that WrestleMania isn't going to deliver. So it's going to be interesting, man, because right now I think Brock Lesnar was a placeholder through the Royal Rumble because they knew that Braun wasn't ready and they knew that Roman wasn't going to be there. I think they have to deliver with Braun winning the championship, and then they have to deliver a good match with Braun, which I think right now the only guy that can do it is Drew McIntyre.
Or Finn.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I you know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I feel that Braun is actually in a better predicament when he's actually going up against another big guy. But a guy like Finn would actually be able to carry Braun through a match. But I don't know if Finn would be able to carry Braun through a match where Finn might actually be looked at as the heel.
Yeah.
Because we want to cheer Braun.
And we want to cheer Finn.
And absolutely, we want to cheer Finn. However, Finn, I think, could become a heel if he was in charge of a faction.
All right.
So that's where we are. Folks, I want to go ahead and say we're really sorry we haven't been on very often.
Yeah, it's like Rob said, it's life, it's scheduling. Now that the holidays are over, we're going to try our best to get back on that regular weekly schedule that we were on before. So thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for understanding. And we're going to try to get more content out. We're going to try to do a couple of bonus episodes like we used to. Facebook Live, where Rob and I are together in the same room. We're going to work all that out too. So as a thank you.
Yeah, we'll probably be together for the Royal Rumble. We'll probably be together WrestleMania. All the big shows. We obviously try to do that stuff. We may actually try to broadcast live from one of the shows that we're actually at. Obviously we can do that from our phones nowadays.
Yeah.
But overall, folks, we miss you. We love you. We want you to watch. There's a lot going on in our personal lives. I mean, I've got comic book stuff going on week in, week out. Trying to figure out who's going to draw a cover, when the book's going to come out. I mean, it's crazy.
And I got family stuff. I mean, this is Haley's last year. She's getting ready for college, trying to get her college applications in and getting her, getting that together.
I mean, I got to make sure that Matthew's going to school on time.
Shut up. And then on top of, I got a lot of the DJing and the band and the acoustic solo. So yeah, we got a lot going on, but we're going to try to make sure we make time to do these shows for you.
But we need everybody to sit there and tell Tino that he actually wants to have me sing a song at one of his shows again.
No, we don't.
What do you mean? What do you mean no? That was great when you got to take it, dude. That was New Year's Eve one year. I remember that.
Where were we?
It was at Arnie's, which is now Braley's in Durham. Uh, you all of a sudden just looked at Chris Overtree. Was that his
Overstreet.
Overstreet, and you were like, hey, I'm gonna bring up Rob. I'm gonna go have a drink, and like you literally just left the stage and let me like just handle the song. But anyways, folks, seriously though, a lot going on, with us. You know, obviously Tino's got the family stuff going on. I've got the comic book stuff going on. Like, now this
Speed ticket.
eating ticket that I've got to take care of, which is probably going to cost me a trip to California. Uh,
Oh God.
it could, man. Like it could. Um, Overall, though, you know, like once again, you know, this is what our third year. What? How long have we been doing this, Tino?
It's not 30 year, right?
Third. I think it is
It's
our
not
third
30.
year.
Yeah.
You know, and you've stuck with us. We love you for it. We're gonna bring you an episode next week, hopefully next week, of our year-end awards. We hope to actually post up the nominees for the year-end awards, either on the Facebook page, Twitter, somewhere. You know, we'll figure out where exactly is the best way to do it. But just remember that you know, like, real life happens. It prevents us from actually doing this all the time like we want to. Um,
Trust me, I'd rather do this all the time.
but Tino and I, when we get together, you can hear it. We love doing this. We do.
I like the M-rated shows.
Yes, the M or R rated shows are
Those are my
definitely
favorite.
Our favorite fucking shows that we do.
Where the fuck did Joe come from?
Where the fuck did Joe come from? Like, I'm almost surprised you didn't get knocked out by Joe.
I know, right?
Night, Tino.
Night.
All right, why don't you go ahead and take us out of this? I'm going to apologize for not having music attached to it because I couldn't figure out exactly how to get it to work.
As they saw at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, well, you know, I did get it started, and then I just didn't hear it. So
he said to hell with it. All right, folks, you can check him out on Twitter at PotCheck. I'm at HootieFan91. The show is at Potsy and Tino. The Facebook is Potsy and Tino Show. You can check him out on Instagram.
At Rob PotCheck.
Yeah. Snapchat. You on Snapchat?
I am, but I don't know what the hell my thing is.
I don't either. We want to say thank you once again to Adam's House Cat for the wrestling song. As always, we hear Ric Flair. We're going to be in Charlotte in about a month or so, and we will all be sitting with Rick having a beer going, woo!
I don't know if Rick actually drinks beer anymore.
Okay, sparkling cider. Woo!
Folks,
Good night.
Good night, everybody.